Hello everyone, welcome to Cricut 101. This is another live streamed class just for those of you who are new to Cricut and you're just starting out and you want to know the basics. I'm Anna Rose, welcome to the Cricut Craft Room. Today we're going to teach you how to make a one-layer infusible ink makeup bag. It looks like this. It's really simple project, perfect for a beginner, and we hope that you'll follow along with us. Now, how these 101 classes work is I'm going to show a pre-recorded video. I'm going to narrate over the top of it, and then if you join me back here at the end of the video, we'll answer all of your questions live. So start leaving questions in the comments, and then make sure to watch the whole video and come back at the end to join me for a live Q&A. Okay, let's get started. Today, we're going to guide you through all of the steps required to make a very adorable makeup pouch that Chris made for his daughter's dress-up parties with Cricut Infusible Ink. Look how fun that is. And this is a very simple project to start with. Let's start with some of the supplies that you'll need. First, you'll need a Cricut EasyPress, a box of infusible ink, some scissors, a Cricut cosmetic bag, a brayer, a weeding tool, a lint roller, and of course your Cricut cutting machine. Today we're going to use the Cricut Joy. In Design Space, we'll show you an easy way to navigate to Ready to Make projects. Click up at the top, and then once you're on the canvas, click Projects on the left-hand side. Chris is going to search for cosmetic bag, but you'll see all of the pre-designed projects that the Cricut team has created. The project that we want is right at the top of the screen. So he's going to click on it and open it up. Now you'll see this is the beauty of a ready-to-make project. We've listed out everything you need to make, all the materials you need, the prep steps, how to cut, and even how to assemble. So you could click Make It from this screen, but Chris is going to click Customize so that we can show you the canvas. This is the Design Space canvas where you can adjust the color of your image, you can resize it. For this project, we're just going to change the color so we can visualize our blue infusible ink and then click Make It. It'll take us to this screen. Since we're using Joy, we need to tell the machine that we're cutting on a mat. And then make sure to click Mirror, because for an infusible ink project or an iron-on project, you want to make sure that you click Mirror. And then let's continue. The software will connect to your machine, and then it'll ask you what material you're cutting. If you don't see your material there, you can go to Browse All Materials and then search for your material here. So it looks like he found infusible ink and he's clicking on it. And then it's going to tell you that the next step to do is load your tools and load your mat into the Cricut machine. So before we get to that step, he's going to open up his infusible ink box and put it on the mat. Inside you'll see 2 sheets and then butcher paper. So he's going to actually put that to the side for his next project. Right here, he's measuring his infusible ink before he goes to cut it so that he can save any excess for another project. So he's just trimming with a pair of scissors. He's very industrious, saving all of that. Okay, then he's going to remove the protective liner from the mat before sticking his sheet onto the mat. Line up the top of the infusible ink sheet with the top of the mat and smooth in place. So you see he's lining it up, and then he's going to use a brayer tool if he has any extra bubbles. Okay, then he's going to go back and he's going to load his mat into the machine and it'll begin cutting. Now we'll show you what the software screen looks at this step, but first we wanted to show you what it looks like when the machine is cutting. This is probably the best part, watching the image cut out. Okay, he's going to hop back to Design Space. and he's going to show you what this screen looks like. So it'll tell you to load the mat. Then while it's cutting, it will do a countdown showing you how much percentage is left. And then once it's done cutting, it will actually prompt you to unload the mat on this screen. So make sure when you're using your Cricut Joy, you click unload on that screen. Okay, now we see our cut image, and now he's going to show you how to weed the image. Weeding is just removing the excess material from around your image to leave what you want transferred behind. Okay, so he's going to remove his Infusible ink sheet from the mat. See how he's pulling the mat away from the Infusible ink to make sure that his material stays flat. And then he is so much better than me. He's so good about putting his cover back on his mat after he's done with it so that it'll be nice and fresh for the next time he goes to cut. Okay, so now onto weeding. Start at the corner of the sheet and carefully remove the Infusible ink from the plastic backer. So see, he's grabbing the edge and then he's going to carefully remove it. You can use your fingers for this process. If you have super intricate things, you could use more detailed tools, but really the Infusible ink is very easy to weed with your fingers. So he's carefully taking it all around the edge, and then he'll go back and remove the tiny inside pieces from the letters. See how he's just carefully bending it? This is paper, so it will rip. So be careful as you're removing it from that plastic backer. See, just a quick bend here and then pull. There he goes. See how that little tiny spot ripped? So make sure you're careful as you're pulling out the inside of the letters. Okay, great. He just has the inside of the P, and then we'll go. Once everything is removed, it's ready to apply the image. We suggest going to our Cricut heat guide. Go to cricut.com/heat guide, and you'll find this page. Notice he's already selected his heat press, he's selecting his transfer material, and then even the base that he is going to put the material onto. When he clicks apply, it's going to show you the temperature you need, how long you need to apply it for, and then even all of your supplies and stacking order, which means the layers to get the best press. I also appreciate the care section, which shows you that if you want to wash this, you can, but gives you some good tips. Okay, he's going to go back to his heat press and he's adjusting the time and temperature to what the heat guide just told him to do. Once that's ready, it's time to get started. He's going to open up his cosmetic case bag and then prep for application. Looks like he bought a 2-pack, which is cool. Okay, so he's opening up the zipper, and then inside the bag, he's actually going to show us a pretty handy tip. He's going to grab his cardstock, make sure it will fit inside the bag, but he has a cool trick where you put a towel on the inside of your cosmetic bag to really pop up the surface and make sure that when your image is transferred, it's evenly transferred. See, because you don't want to hit that zipper. So he put that towel in there to pop it up just a little bit. And then he'll put his cardstock on top of that towel. Yep, carefully place it inside. Again, this is to make sure that your surface is completely flat when you press it, because when you press the Infusible ink, you need it to transfer evenly. Okay, smoothing it out, adjusting as needs be, and then he is ready to go. He's gonna lint roll it. This is very important. Make sure you lint roll your bag. Smoothing out any corners that might not be flat. If you prep correctly, you will always have a good experience in my experience. Okay, so now you'll see he's placing his image onto the front of the bag. If you'll notice, do you see why we mirrored the image on the cut screen? Because if you didn't mirror the image, your makeup text would be backwards as you apply it. Okay, so he's just adjusting a little bit. He's going to put his makeup image on, and then he will go to heat. I think he's just centering it right now because first we need to preheat the bag. I think for this cosmetic bag, you need to preheat it for 15 seconds. So make sure you do that first. Yep, he's making sure that the image fits. Okay, looks like he's happy with it. Now he's going to preheat the bag. And preheating is important because it's going to remove any excess moisture from the bag, and you want to make sure that the transfer surface is optimal, right? So anything you can do, lint rolling, preheating, those are all important steps. Okay, he's going to put his design back down, color side down, onto the makeup bag. Okay, he's probably putting his press safely away. Now that your surface is ready to go, you'll have the best experience. Okay, he puts his image down, smooths it out into place. Yeah, see how you can actually see the word makeup? That means that you mirrored your design. He'll put butcher paper over the top. This is to protect your press from the infusible ink, and then also protect your surface as well. Butcher paper comes in the box of infusible ink, so you get a piece of butcher paper with every piece of infusible ink. Okay, he set his EasyPress over the top of his image and pressed the green C button, which starts the countdown. Now make sure that your design fits under the press. You do not want to have to press twice. So if your image is too big to fit under the EasyPress, either use a larger press or make your image smaller. Notice his hands. See how they're evenly spread out? He is evenly applying pressure, which also means that it is being evenly heated across the surface of the cosmetic bag, which is the best thing you can do for infusible ink. Light, even pressure. The EasyPress has a convenient countdown to help you know how much time you have left before removing the press. This is so helpful for me because even when I'm counting in my head, sometimes I get off track. So I appreciate that feature a lot. Once it's done, it will beep. Safely stow away your press because it's pretty hot at this point. And then when you come back to your press design, just make sure before you remove the butcher paper to check to make sure it's not too hot. So he checked, he's going to remove it. Oh, and look at that. You can already see that the ink has come off very nicely. Okay, he's going to start at the corner and pull up. Oh, the big reveal is the best part. Good job, Chris. The cosmetic bag turned out great. What do you think? That was an easy project. Okay, we're back. What did you guys think of Chris's project? Wasn't that a fun and easy thing to do for a beginner? I think so too. As you get more comfortable with infusible ink, you can try new things. You can try to do more than one color, but the beauty of infusible ink is that even with that simple image, you have a professional quality project. Okay, let's see if there's any questions that I can answer. Oh, good, Lori Joy. I'm so glad that you loved the makeup bag. It's a really fun and easy project. Okay, let's see. Oh, hi, Barbara. I'm so glad that you like the step-by-step instructions. We will be doing these until January. So if you go to our blog, inspiration.cricut.com, at the very top, there's a post that says Cricut 101. We even have a link in this video, and you can see the schedule. We have more videos just like this coming up. This question is from Ebony. They say, if you don't have an EasyPress, can you use an iron? That is a great question. You cannot use an iron for infusible ink. The reason is science, because the ink has to heat up to a certain temperature, and a household iron just cannot get that hot. You need to use an EasyPress, a Cricut EasyPress that can get up to 385 degrees or even 400 degrees, depending on the base that you're transferring it to. Our ceramic coasters, which is also a really fun project, needs to be, I think it's 400 or higher. Oh, okay, this is a good question from Sheila. What's the difference between infusible ink and heat transfer vinyl? Infusible ink is ink that transfers into the surface of your material. So if this was a shirt, I could stretch it and the shirt would actually stretch with the design. If you put iron-on onto something, the iron-on sits on top of the fibers. So if you stretched it, it might even crack the iron-on. Not always, but that's the difference. The iron-on sits on top of the fibers and infusible ink goes into the fibers. So make sure if you're using infusible ink that you use a higher than, I think it's 60% polyester base to get the brightest colors. Good question. Yes, it sounds like you've learned the hard way. Oh, so Red 1065 says, can you use infusible ink on any type of fabric? You can, but it will not last. So if you use infusible ink on cotton, for example, it will just wash away with washes, because it's back to that science comment that I made. You need to have a polyester base so that the infusible ink binds with the fibers and stays there forever. Okay? Do you have a tutorial or tips on using infusible ink markers? We actually do. We'll see if we can link you straight to that video. But we have a lot of videos on how to use the markers. They're so fun because whatever you can draw, you can transfer it to something. So for Christmas, we're thinking of doing some ornaments for the grandparents with my kids drawing a picture and transferring that image to the ornament. Oh, hi Tandy Dandy. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to use infusible ink. Once you follow the steps, it's really easy. Can it be used on layered pictures? So that's a great question. This is one layer of infusible ink. You can do multiple layers. It's just another process. And we also have some videos of how to do that as well. So we'll try to link that to you. Great questions, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Like I said, this is a series. We're going to be doing more and more videos through the end of December and then through January. So please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that notification bell so that every time we go live, you're the first to know about it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.